Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back for episode 7 of season 3 of Heartstopper. This is the penultimate episode of the series. Next week will be our final episode, at least until the movie comes out to bring this story to its close. The poll is still going up, though. At this point, there's not really, it doesn't seem like there's any point to keep it up too much longer. I'm not going to say anything just yet, but who knows? There could be a change, but right now there is a definitive winner. It's one that's been mentioned a lot in the comments of these videos, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be pretty happy about what it turns out to be. But yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the the previous episode and all that. We did that last week, so I got some other stuff to do tonight, so we're just going to jump into the episode. If you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon. Over there we got the same thing for all the other shows and movies that we cover on the channel. You also get to suggest and vote what movies to react to each month. It's just a great way to support the channel, helps do things we do over here. But at the end of the day, I really appreciate it. Enjoy this reaction. To at least leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if not already, because it really helps these videos out. But with that all said and out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into episode 7 together. Here we go. He looks so like literally shocked by that. He was like, ooh. I do hope we shine a brighter light on what's been going on with Tara, because while she had her breakdown, we've still not really talked about what made that happen. But yeah, she does just about everything, doesn't she? Uh-oh. I don't know if she's having another attack or if she's just overexerting herself. Oh, hey, we're at practice, guys. Okay. Oh, dude, he wants you so bad. Together, 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 everyone.
This is exactly what I needed.
You have seemed a little bit stressed lately.
I've been a bit stressed all year. I love my ballet classes, but I've got to get 3 buses to get there.
Damn, dude.
Well, I can drive you to ballet if you want.
Oh!
I'm not doing anything most Saturdays anyway.
Nick, you don't have to.
No, I want to.
All right, well, maybe.
Aww.
Anyway, what's going on with you?
Charlie's been a lot better these days.
And how's Nick doing these days?
Fine.
That's not a very convincing fine.
Well, that's because you've been focused on helping Charlie.
Yeah, that's very true.
I've been focused on Darcy and all their stuff with their mum. You need to remember to look after yourself too. I still think journaling's really beneficial.
I'm not going to sit here and hear any more of your journaling propaganda.
Hey, class.
Oh, no.
Honestly, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing, and I don't want the first time to get really bad and embarrassing. Maybe if I'm this nervous about it, I'm not actually ready to do anything.
No, oh my God.
I mean, maybe you'll get some good advice. Or maybe not. You clearly are already, Charlie. And it's not exactly rocket science, is it? I mean, how bad can it really be? I don't know. I feel like I don't know anything.
Oh, just have sex with him, please.
So stop hearing about it.
Dude, that's the most frustrating thing right there, when you're like, especially if we already started and you're like, shit, okay, well, damn
She
it.
was just feeling it all night. Like, you could tell she wanted it, and it got to a point I just thought, why not really?
You were supposed to go about yesterday as well.
I just don't think that losing your virginity is that big of a deal.
It's a big deal because it's the first time you're having sex. I mean, I know the concept of virginity is bullshit, but like, I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
Just wait to marriage. It'll be 5 years.
So weird.
Yeah, that's so funny.
We are now going to look at some images of STIs.
I don't blame you for being nervous. That's normal. Easy for you to say. You were so confident.
I wasn't, Charlie.
We were in some random bedroom at a house party. We had no idea what we were doing. And even after that, we still had a lot to learn about each other.
Yeah.
And what feels good. Maybe we get things wrong, but
That's fake part of the
it's not some
process.
perfect, effortless thing.
Yeah.
And one last thing to remember, folks.
chlamydia. Kinda bad.
How was those interview?
I think they decided not to air it, actually.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they probably don't know what actually happened then.
I'm sorry about the interview, Al. Mother and I had a chat.
Should have expected it.
No, you shouldn't.
Doesn't matter. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
It's heartbreaking, man.
Oh, have you? Document! Fuck off! Sorry. I didn't know he was here.
I'm just glad it wasn't your mum.
Dude, that, like, electricity that shoots through your body when you think you may have just got caught in the act is terrifying. That can't be your whole ass response. Put some words in there, you fool. What is this conversation? I gotta go back and second what Tao was saying. Oh, hey. Oh, gotta do something.
I think this is the best drawing I've done so far.
It's a fish. It looks like a fish.
I'm improving.
That is actually better than what we've seen before.
Next someone. Tao Su, artist of goldfish.
He only draws goldfish.
Can I sleep over tonight?
You know how my mum is about it. She loves you, but yeah, I should say no. We could watch a movie though.
Yeah, it took quite a while for my parents to let my significant other at the time stay over. I think I stayed over at their house more than anything else.
Decided I'm gonna look after myself and do what I want.
And that includes doing me.
What the hell?
Perfect. Now everyone knows how much I love you.
What's that about? Is that a tradition?
You're all staying at Truham for sixth form, right?
Yeah?
Good. I wanted to give you this. Campaigning starts in the autumn. I think you should apply.
Aww.
Why?
Well, you're smart, you're a strong person, and I think you could do a lot of good for the kids at this school.
Charlie, there are a lot of younger students who would find it inspiring to see you as head boy. That's all.
I'll think about it. Promise.
Coming from him, that's huge because he had to go. Yeah. He had to be alone so long without seeing anything of the sort. Oh my God. Like he didn't, the fact that he had to bloom so late, and if he had somebody like Charlie to look up to at a younger age or something like that, maybe it would have been so much easier. Oh my God, that got me.
We know you've been really down since that interview.
It's not like this radio woman was a raging bigot or anything. She probably thinks of herself as an ally. But I was there to talk about my art.
Have you spoken to anyone about it? Tao, maybe?
Well, he was kind of there.
I love Tao. He would fight the world for me. He just can't properly understand.
We're here. We might understand.
Hey, my eyes are up here.
I'm trying to peek.
Why? Well, no. Well, why would I do that? Get your head in the game.
Maybe one night you could stay around mine, just us. Do you think your parents will let you?
I'll ask.
Rick and Charlie! Pay attention, please. It's the last practice of the year.
It's the last practice of the year. Who gives a shit?
Not really much point in her banning sleepovers. If you and Nick want to have sex, then you'll have sex. You don't need a sleepover to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't have any good advice, I'm going to go upstairs.
My advice is to sneak out.
My advice is that a sleepover is unnecessary for the activity in question.
He's not wrong.
I hope you do get to have your sex sleepover.
Thank you.
Michael, can you stop talking about my brother having sex? Please?
Sorry.
Oof. But he's not wrong. It's not a requirement. I landed that plane before we got to the staying over part. For sure.
My free house. Oh, until everyone's asleep if they're staying over. School is an option.
You had sex at school?
I mean,
it was only one.
I've never had full-on sex at school, but I had done next to everything else.
Yeah, Charlie's been through a lot.
You've been through a lot too, Nick. It's okay to admit that Charlie being ill was tough for you. You don't have to be the strong one all the time.
Yeah.
Trust me, I learned that the hard way.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Did you get the bus all the way here?
Yep, all 3 of them.
Why?
Just wanted to see you dancing. You always look so
Aww.
happy when you're dancing.
You're so ridiculous.
That's adorable.
Let me stay at your house, helping me move into my grand's, taking me clothes shopping, convincing me to cut my hair when I kept backing out.
Those are like very low bar things to us.
There's still something.
I just don't think I would have had the courage to explore being non-binary if it weren't for you. But you made it feel so easy and joyful.
Well, hell yeah.
I know we haven't talked about it properly or anything. I didn't want to overload you with that, like, job. But you've seemed calmer recently.
So is Tara over that hump? Kind of thought we were going to explore that a little bit more. A little bit more.
No anymore.
But, damn. Aww. He's just trying to play along, try to not rock the boat too much. Gotta lay the groundwork. Oh god, this is gonna fucking be like a rug pull when he asks.
I really like that one.
Yeah, me too.
Aww.
We should try it again sometime.
And here we go. Oh, the dad knows he's trying to like, hey,
Stay around his one night.
Yes, at some point.
We were thinking soon.
I'm not sure, Charlie. I'm not saying no. It's just you have your GCSE exams coming up, and this is quite a big step.
And I'm mentally ill, so I can't.
No, that's not what I said.
That's what you were thinking.
I don't think that's
thinking.
You're only 16 and you've been very ill. Oh, no, seriously.
Okay, so it is that.
We all love Nick. You know what? We'll talk about this once your exams are over, Charlie.
If I want to see my boyfriend, then I will. You can't stop me.
Charlie!
Oof. I feel like that could have went a little bit better.
You okay?
I get it. I get where they're both coming from, and I can't say that I didn't ever have my little outbursts like Charlie at the time either, but
I do. It's a special one tonight. Okay.
I get where she's coming from as well, though. I do. And yeah, his exams are important. And last time, when things were ramping up, you know, he started losing his grades. So I kind of understand it, but
it made me think about when Charlie was really ill and I made him that little video.
I don't know. They both have a very good point.
I guess I never really thought of myself as a creative person before that.
Aww.
I love making these little videos to cheer up the people I love. So I made you one.
Aw. Aww.
The most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
I guess that's how I see you.
Oh, she really needed that right now.
Feels like the whole world is against me.
You can always talk to me about it.
I'm just scared you won't get it.
I'll try. I'll always try.
Cute. He's afraid to leave or go anywhere far away, isn't he? Is that why he's holding back on making the decision? Whoa. What?
Distraction. Please don't leave me behind.
Shit. Wow, that didn't take long to 180. Damn, that was whiplash right there.
Are you okay? What's wrong?
And then she was like, you're only 16 and you've been ill. And it's like, okay, well, what's that got to do with me spending time with my boyfriend? Like, yeah, I've been ill, but that doesn't mean I can't do fun things and be a teenager. I'm not fragile. And I want to have sex with you. What's wrong with that?
Aww.
You don't think I'm fragile, do you?
No. Charlie, you're like the strongest person I've ever met. You know exactly who you are and what you want. I think I'm more fragile than you are.
Aww, yeah. Because he's a fucking teddy bear.
But when you're not around,
He's adrift.
I don't know, I guess I feel a bit lost.
That's why he's afraid to make any decisions or think about what to do next in his own life.
I can't talk to anyone else like I talk to you. When I realised I was bi, I feel like I woke up because I was repressing so much of myself before then. You know, not just my sexuality, but my thoughts and feelings, my personality. I still hide behind that mask sometimes. Just laughing and joking with my mates, but never really opening up to anyone. And now I'm thinking about uni and my future, and
He has no idea what he wants.
Basically, I'm just freaking out.
Mm-hmm. It's overwhelming.
That didn't make any sense.
No, it made perfect sense, man.
You're allowed to be a mess sometimes.
Oh, I'm a mess now, am I?
I think we're both a bit of a mess.
You came here all upset and I made it all about me.
Oh, shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, you're allowed to have it be about you sometimes, man.
Is anyone else home?
Like other Michael said, you don't have to stay over to make it happen. If you want to do it, you'll figure it out.
We don't have to if you don't want to.
This is literally the only thing I've been able to think about.
Dude, it's been on his mind every day. I don't think I crossed that line until I was 17, though. And I think I was the last one of my friends to get to that point. Aww. Another beautiful episode. Everybody traversing their own little, I don't know, man, hang-ups. Especially after Elle's whole thing with that interviewer. She's been so, I don't know what you would want to call it. I mean, that's just like a shock to your system to want to go in about something you're proud of, something that you love, something you create, and then they try to turn it into some other spin piece about the political atmosphere and, you know, this bringing up this whole debate, this whole thing about whether or not you or people like you should have rights, should have an existence and whatever and all this kind of crap. And it was like, wow, what the hell? I thought we were here to talk about this thing I love. And you're trying to make it about this whole other thing. Ah, God, it's such a rug pull. It's such a BS piece of shit thing to do. Especially with like these media outlets in that way, you know, they'll do whatever the hell they can to get those, get that engagement, dude. Again, nobody else in the group knows her experience or has lived her experience. Like they're aware vicariously through her in the way that she expresses it, which isn't much because again, like it's hard to know how much they'll get about it, which I like that at least at her school where she's at. There's at least some people that understand and can help, but you know, they're not as close, I'll say, as her group back home, let alone her and Tao. And I like how she's just afraid to bring that up with him because she's also afraid that he's not going to get it. Like if she tries to vent, maybe he won't understand. But I love the end of the day too, like especially like, you know, she's always been super creative. She's always been one to express herself through her art. You know, the way she sees the world and all of that. And Tao, as we've seen, as far as like drawing, it's not his thing, but he loves film. And for him to have created that whole little video for Charlie, he's ignited a little bit of a passion for creation himself. And to help her, he made a little video for her, highlighting her in the way that he sees her. And that no matter what, even if they don't walk the same life and he doesn't understand everything, he's going to try. And no matter what, none of it's going to change how he feels about her. So like, there's always going to be this little gremlin in the back of her mind that's like taunting away or trying. We all have one, you know, that little voice in the back of our mind that tries to eat you down, eat it and dig in and drudge up your insecurities. He's there to fight that thing. That's what I love about this group, like all together, is that everybody in this, no matter what they're going through, no matter what's going on, anytime somebody leans on somebody else or lets them in, there's so many people in this group that are there for them. And I love that, especially with everything every one of these kids is going through. It's so beautiful to see them have such a very welcome and warm support structure. I do think, and like, who knows, it may come up in the next episode, but I do kind of lament mildly. This is my one potential criticism, assuming that we don't get anything in the next episode, which is the finale. I don't know if we would. It's just the Tara thing. Like, I feel like they didn't spend enough time highlighting. Obviously we've seen it, but it feels like the resolution was just, well, Charlie intervened, helped her with the breath exercises and got through that, which is a big step up for Charlie. You know, that was a huge moment for him. I just kind of wish we would have spent a little more time or even seen the conversation Tara had after that with Darcy about why she felt like that. I think that's one of my biggest hangups at the moment. But again, maybe that's just something that's not on the table just yet. But the way that she was talking to Nick as, you know, they were driving, it kind of seemed like we were moving past that. The whole thing with Darcy, that non-binary feels right for them, you know, to make that call, to make that choice. And then this is how they brought that to the table with her. You know, Darcy came out, surprised her at her ballet club, studio, troupe, I don't know what you call it, showed up there at the studio and yeah, had that talk. And it went pretty well, you know, all things considered. You know, as much as Tara and Nick have this kind of way about them where they try to shoulder a lot and it causes them to kind of neglect themselves in some ways, or maybe they'll willfully do it, or maybe subconsciously don't realize that they're doing it. So like, it's really interesting to see them having that talk, but also in the way that they've helped their significant others get through a lot of these big changes in their lives. And like, even the way that Darcy kind of talked about the things that Tara helped them with, you know, along the way, it was just like, oh, well, those are just kind of some small things, you know, the hair, the place to stay, the clothes. It was like, I mean, for a lot of people going through something really big like that, or even just anything that they're afraid of in general, the little things stack up. And I don't know, I just like seeing them kind of deal with all of that too. And then Nick in this too, after that conversation, is kind of realizing that, you know, his future is coming faster and faster and faster, but he's at conflict with everything in his life as well, not because of Charlie or anything like that, but like, yeah, there is a part of him that is afraid of leaving Charlie behind, or, you know, he's looking at schools or thinking about what to do next. You know, that could take him to another town, another city, another place, who knows? But then he's like, because he was talking about, I want to stay close to Charlie so that, you know, because he wants to help. Like he feels like beholden to be there to care for him through all these different things, but both at the same time too, he just wants to be there because he's his rock. Because without Charlie, he doesn't really know who he is either. At this point, he's kind of spiraling in that way, because if it wasn't for Charlie and just the things that Charlie did for him, like, he would have continued living on, repressing a whole major aspect of who he is. Like he said, he was hiding behind a mask. He was repressing parts of his personality, and sometimes all of it. And he didn't even know that at the time. You know, he was like playing a role with his friends, and he never really let them in this way. And, you know, he's like, I can't really talk to anybody in the way that I talk to you. And so as much as he's afraid of pulling away in pursuit of something that he's going to have to do for himself at some point anyway, you know, as much as he wants to make sure he's always there for Charlie, at the same time, he needs Charlie to be there for him, because he doesn't really, I don't know, it's like, it's hard to say that he knows who he really is without Charlie. I just find that really interesting, how they're navigating this conflict of identity, what it's like to discover this huge thing about yourself and then not know who you are anymore or what you want. It's hard to make a decision too when you don't know who you are or what you want. You know, he's looking at a couple different schools, looking at rugby scholarships for certain different places, you know, and he's just like, and then he gets hung up on, you know, the thrill, the excitement, the desire that they've been building up all this time as they've been escalating towards that eventuality, that we finally crossed that line, or at least made it to that line here as they decided to finally do the deed. But at the same time, there's always that other bit of it that's in there as well. You saw how quickly that turned into like worry. You know, he feels like if he's like entertaining his desires, physical, emotional, or otherwise, is that okay? Is Charlie healthy enough for that? What's going to happen? Then you see the worries snap into that dream sequence that he was having there for a hot minute when he was alone in his bed. Then equally so, like Charlie is having to deal with this too, not just from Nick, though Nick's been really so much better about masking it and hiding it and not really letting that get into the mix of their relationship at this point. But when it comes to his Charlie's mother, who's always been a very worrisome person to begin with, you know, he starts off trying to butter her up, you know, helping her in the kitchen, then talking, having fun, chit-chatting, having a good old time, wait until the very end. The dad knew apparently the entire plan because he was like, all right, go, good luck. Like, he's like, come on, Dad, back him up a little bit. Do something. It's just kind of funny that, like, he could have had a little help in that situation, but obviously dropping that bomb at the end of that day, and then, because at the same time, when you do something like that, that immediately, though they didn't showcase it in this, but in my experience, anytime you actively are trying to butter up the parent or whatever, it becomes so obvious what all of that was when you drop your ask. Because then it's like, oh, that's what this was all about. And then sometimes that could make it worse, that revelation that you were kind of playing them the entire time. But that's not the case here. She just got hit with this thing. It's obviously a big thing. It's her teenage kid who's dropping this bomb, you know, where things naturally are probably going to head one way or the other anyway. On top of that, there's the fear that she has because of everything that's just recently happened with him and his mental health. So she's afraid that, you know, she can't keep an eye on him if he's not here, if he breaks away from his regiment or whatever. Maybe it's too early to kind of go into something like that. At the same time, there's the parental fear of knowing what's around the corner, what's inevitable, and then giving her stamp on that. Even if that's not what she's stamping, that's not what she's approving, in her mind, that's probably a connection she's going to make as well. And then obviously there's the schoolwork. You know, he's got these important tests coming up and stuff like that. And last time, you know, Nick was kind of the reason his grades were kind of suffering. So there's a lot of different things going on in there, but like immediately Charlie recants almost in the way that, you know, I've been guilty of many times. When you have this thing built up, you really want to do this thing, and you're a kid, and your parents say no, and you get so upset. And he's like, "Oh, this is about my mental health," and I was like, "I know it's probably a part of it, but I don't think that was like all of it." And then he kind of explodes a little bit, and he's like, "You can't stop me. I'm not a kid anymore. If I want to do stuff, I'm going to do stuff. I'm going to go hang out with my boyfriend." He just leaves and goes to Nick's, and then they do what they do, and he ends up going over there after that whole little outburst and ends up having to be a rock for Nick, which again, it's just the beauty of their relationship is like when each one of them is faltering, they're always there for one another. I love seeing that. Again, I don't think her aspect of it was wholly because of the mental health thing or the sex thing or any of it. I think it was a combination of all of those concerns and that decision being handed to her, because I don't know if there's any real way for, especially as a parent, to really kind of navigate when is that going to be okay and when are you going to take responsibility or give that responsibility. Like, I can't imagine like having that choice thrust onto my lap, especially solely when Dad's down there waiting and listening to see what I'm going to say too. Like, what the hell's that about? But yeah, he was like, hey, they want me to be head boy for the next form or whatever. And, you know, the way that, you know, she's like, hey, I was like, yeah, sure, I've got my problems and stuff like that, but look at this, look at this, look at this. Like, I'm doing okay. I'm doing better. Farouk, like, backing that up when Jang brought him in and brought that whole proposal to him to begin with. Oh my God, that warmed and broke my heart so much, because we know Charlie has no idea. about that aspect of it, but we know like what it was like for him as a kid and how long it took him to figure out things about himself. And not even just that, to be in a relationship with somebody at all, to at least to our knowledge, to be open to like at least get to entertain or like explore that side of yourself openly. He's like, kids, you never know. Like it could help a lot of people to see somebody like you at the head of everything. You have no idea what that could mean to some people. And he didn't have that. And then he wants Charlie to be that for somebody else. And oh God, that warmed my spirit, dude. Ugh. Anyway, I think that's roughly all I can think of at the moment. There may be some things that I'm forgetting, but for right now, let's take it over to Patreon and see what questions we have from you all, or fun facts. Okay, so we got 2 here. So a couple beefy ones. Let's start off here with Vivi. The scene with Farouk's conversation with Charlie and subsequent self-reflection is such a beautiful one. I think we all have moments in our lives that we don't necessarily regret per se, but wonder how different things would have happened if we had done XYZ. Also, Tao once again shows in the episode how loudly he loves the people most important to him. When Nick said to Tao in Paris in season 2 that Tao loves his friend loudly, I thought that was a perfect summation of Tao's personality. So not like a fun fact or anything, just a nice observation and comment to add into everything, adding on to what I was talking about and everything. I completely agree about all of that. That just a beautiful summation of everything. I forgot about the way that Nick described Tao and the way that he loudly loves everybody in his group, because he really does. And I think he just struggles to express that. And him diving into this filmography, the cinematography aspect, this filmmaking, when he's always showed such a love and appreciation for it, I think is a beautiful way to kind of ease into that. And then we have Gregory Toner says, I have a comment about Charlie's mom. Interesting. Okay. Alice wrote a story about Jane and Julio first meeting and how their love began. And you get a wonderful insight into the background. We know from the books that Jane was abused by her mother. Oh, goodness. And I don't think her dad was great either. I really think Jane gets a bad rep from the fans of the show, not really understanding that she is a whole person. And though that she and Charlie butt heads, she truly loves her son and wants what's best for him. See, I agree with that 100%. I think everything that she's done from her perspective is trying to make things as best as possible for him. Everyone jumps on her over the Christmas episode, but her personal stress that day, having to deal with her own childhood trauma while her parents judged everything she did, and take different view here, I believe. She was actually afraid of that her parents would be cruel to Charlie, and that's why she had had them beside her and set Charlie and Tori as far away from the grandparents as possible. Jane does make mistakes, but she's not a bad person. Sorry, that was long. No, I 100% agree. And knowing that extra little detail makes a lot of that make a lot more sense. Because you can definitely see that. And to liken it to something else, you know, something you don't consider so much, I don't think, when you're a kid, is what goes into those family dinners. On top of that, it's like the expectation too of inviting everybody, and sometimes you just, out of obligation, you invite people in your family that you don't really want to see, you don't really want to talk to. You know how they're going to be. You know, sometimes it just them being there might cause a little bit of a ruckus, a little bit of an issue. On top of that is the preparation, the cooking, everything that goes into setting all of that up. And that's something I've gotten more and more in tune with as I've gotten older, like the way that you know, way that my mom carries on when, you know, getting preparations ready for family dinners and stuff like that, because it was kind of my grandmother that would kind of do that back when we were younger. And then the way that it kind of evolved and just everything that goes into that. And then to liken it to another show that we covered, man, the Christmas episode for the fucking bear. Jesus Christ. Holy crap. That's like the first thing I think of now when I think about putting things together for a family get together at all. You know, it could be Christmas, it could be Easter, it could be whatever. And like just the pressure and the toll that takes on somebody. And then you add in all these other layers. When you're a kid, you don't really see that side of it either. But then there's also the counter flip side of that, which isn't intentional at all, is the feeling of fragility from Charlie in that moment, you know? That's not what she means to do, but it's her own way of kind of protecting him, like you said. I like that. I like that a lot. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the comments. And one of that kind of brings to mind too, something I forgot to talk about earlier was also like when Charlie was talking about the sleepover and stuff, and Tori and Michael came home, other Michael. And, you know, they were talking about, you know, navigating that whole little situation. And Tori was just like being Tori about it. And then Michael, like, he's so supportive. He's so open. He was like, and he's trying to help, but he's talking about her brother getting it on while like she's right there. But he's not wrong at all. Like, he's trying to help so much, both by being good. I think it's part of it too is like, because like he's invited to their home. So he's trying to also build these relationships with her family, because that's also a good thing to do when you're with somebody, is to build this rapport and this energy and do what you can with the family as well. Because if things go well enough, I mean, that's eventually going to be your family too. So you're like cultivating that. So I love the way that he approaches this, because he's giving Charlie guy-like advice. He's like, hey, if you want to do it, you don't got to do a sleepover. You'll figure it out. You'll do it wherever you want. It's not a requirement. And Tori's just like, shut the fuck up. It's my brother, man. But he's also speaking so many truths. He's such a good dude. That's so funny. I love that. But that's all I got. That was like one thing I forgot to mention earlier. So I think that's all I got. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to you. Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If it did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon. And before we go, I want to shout out, first of all, Angela Bird, Denise Mauricio, and Lily Chan Sun. Thank you guys so much for becoming saviors here on the channel and helping sponsor some of our rescues that we have here at the office that we've been taking care of. You guys have been a huge help. And as always, I want to go ahead and shout out our channel legends: Eric Official, Armando Rosas, Ash, Casey Wood, Chris, Clara V, Codename Wish, Demasius, David Furstenberg, Durla, Gregory Toner, It's Mushi, Jay Cantrell, Carmen Willman, Liam Harold, Lily Chan Sun, Lindley Bullock, Mandy Sharon, Muggy Holes, Nikki Demas, Nikki G, Niall, Ollie Hodges, Philly J, Robert Anguiano, Ross Langford, Russell Crockett, Ryan Moresh, Shilio, Yori Korskov, and your boy G-Man. Thank you guys so much for continued support. But that's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.